Welcome in, everybody. Wherever you are right now, I just want you to take a nice, deep breath with me. Go ahead and let those shoulders drop down away from your ears, unclench your jaw, and just settle in for a moment. I am so incredibly glad you're joining me for this explainer today, because we are diving into a really beautiful, deeply transformative mindset shift. Today is all about finding lasting peace, and we're going to do that by shifting our focus from our endless wants over to our true needs. In our fast-paced world, it's so easy to feel like you're just running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, right? Well, today, we're stepping off that treadmill together. We're going to explore how to regain your grounding, give yourself some much-needed grace, and actually cultivate a profound sense of inner peace. Okay, let's dive right in. I really want you to sit with this question for a second. What hunger are you actually trying to feed? I speak with so many clients who are just thoroughly exhausted, overwhelmed, and feeling stretched entirely too thin. And honestly, you might be feeling that exact same way right now. We're constantly consuming, we're constantly reacting, always reaching for that next thing, just hoping it will finally fill us up. We think the next purchase or the next big achievement or even the next distraction is going to be the magic key to feeling whole. But I want to invite you to pause. When you feel that sudden urge, that restless craving bubbling up in your chest, what's actually sitting underneath it? What is the real hunger that's crying out for your attention?
To figure that out, we're going to move into Section 1, the false fix, and exactly why chasing more simply doesn't work for us.
So we so often blur the line between what our heart truly needs and what our hands just blindly reach for. Listen, we all have very real, very valid emotional needs. Things like the deep human desire for belonging, for meaningful connection, or just the validation that we matter. But what happens? We try to solve those internal emotional needs with external material wants. We suddenly decide that buying a brand new outfit is the absolute only way we're going to survive an upcoming party. We tell ourselves, if I buy this dress, I'll fit in. If I wear this, they'll finally accept me. But we all know how this story ends, don't we? The fleeting high of the purchase happens at the cash register, but the peace? That fades the absolute second you take the tags off. The void is still there. Why? Because you're feeding the wrong hunger. You're trying to give your soul a material fix when what it actually craves is genuine, vulnerable human connection.
Let's break that cycle down in real time. Step 1 is the impulse. You've had a wildly stressful day, you are completely drained, so your immediate impulse is to just crash on the couch and doom scroll social media for 2 solid hours. Let's be real, we have all fallen down that rabbit hole. But let's pause at step 2 and actually identify the feeling behind the impulse. Your true need isn't to stare at a glowing screen. What you actually need is a mental break from your stress, or maybe you're feeling isolated and you crave a real connection. So step 3 is taking the right action based on that deeper truth. Instead of the empty want of scrolling, which usually just leaves us feeling kind of numb anyway, you fulfill the actual need by calling a close friend or taking a quiet walk outside to decompress. Choosing the need over the want is what brings that lasting grounding peace that your phone screen could literally never provide.
And that brings us to part 2, mastering your impulses and how to gently but firmly regain control of the wheel.
I want you to notice how a want actually behaves in your body. Wants are impulsive. They are loud. They are like blaring sirens, creating this completely manufactured sense of urgency that just shatters your peace. They scream, "Buy this now, limited time offer, you are falling behind if you don't have this." They literally trigger your fight or flight response over a pair of shoes or a new kitchen gadget. Now contrast that feeling with a need. Needs are quiet. They are steady. They're grounded, rhythmic, and constant, much like a gentle heartbeat. So the absolute key here is learning to distinguish the frantic, loud urgency of a want from the quiet, centering steadiness of a true need. When you hear that demanding voice in your head telling you to consume immediately, recognize it for exactly what it is, a want trying to hijack your hard-earned peace.
So, how on earth do we quiet that loud siren? Enter the number 30, specifically the 30-day rule. This is a bold, incredibly effective life coaching tool that I really want to arm you with today. It's designed entirely to help you practice delayed wanting for anything in your life that is non-essential.
Imagine you're walking through a store, or maybe just browsing online, and you see this shiny new gadget. It is perfect, it is beautiful, and that loud want voice immediately kicks into overdrive, demanding that you acquire it right this second. The application of the rule here is wonderfully simple. You just wait. You step back and you give yourself 30 days. And honestly, what happens during that month is basically magic. You break the spell of the marketing machine. The impulsive itch of that loud want naturally begins to fade away. It totally loses its grip on your nervous system. If, after 30 whole days have passed, you still genuinely want it and it aligns with your budget and your goals, then go ahead and buy it. But the crucial difference is you're now acting from a place of calm clarity rather than a place of frantic frenzy. You're making a conscious choice, not just reacting to a fleeting urge.
I really want you to take this to heart. Peace is found in being the master of your impulses, not their servant. Just let that sink in for a second. Breathe it in. You do not have to be at the mercy of every single urge that passes through your mind. When you implement tools like the 30-day rule, you are reclaiming your power. You are actively choosing to be the master of your own life.
All right, let's move into part 3, the radical act of contentment, where we make a truly radical decision about how we view our lives.
Anchor yourself in this absolute truth. Contentment is the radical decision that what you have is enough. And yes, I am using the word radical very intentionally here. In a society that is literally built from the ground up to make you feel inadequate so that you'll buy more stuff, deciding that your met needs are already enough is an absolute act of rebellion. It is a radical, beautiful decision. Contentment is not about giving up on your goals, and it is certainly not about settling for less than you deserve. It is a highly active, deeply empowering choice to definitively end the exhausting more cycle right here and right now.
To make this radical decision a reality, you need a very simple daily practice. Every single morning, maybe as you're holding your very first cup of coffee or tea, just feeling the warmth of the mug in your hands, I want you to acknowledge your baseline. Before looking at your phone, before checking a single email, just say to yourself, I have food in my kitchen, I have my health, I have a fresh day ahead of me. It takes maybe 10 seconds, tops, but by deliberately anchoring yourself in the profound satisfaction of your basic needs being met, you are completely rewiring your nervous system for the rest of the day.
When you do that morning practice, you completely shift your baseline. Think about it. If you wake up and immediately start thinking about what you don't have, or who is ahead of you, or what you still need to buy, you're putting on this heavy armor and entering the world from a place of total lack. You spend your entire day grasping, trying to fill an endless, unfillable void. But when you start your morning by acknowledging that your basic needs are already met, you step out your front door from a place of fullness. You realize that you are already whole, you are already enough, exactly as you are. This gentle shift from lack to fullness is the ultimate foundation of true, unshakable peace.
And finally, Section 4, your peace summary. Let's look at the two very distinct paths we have moving forward.
The choice here is incredibly simple. A life that is endlessly focused on wants is a life of constant pursuit. It's a flat-out guarantee of emotional and financial exhaustion, because you'll always be running toward a finish line that just keeps moving further away. But a life focused on true needs, that is a life deeply defined by gratitude. It's a life that guarantees stillness, presence, and peace. And the best part is, the choice of which path you walk down today is entirely in your hands.
Because the profound psychological truth of it all is this: you can never get enough of what you don't really need. If you're trying to feed a deep emotional hunger with a quick material fix, there will literally never be enough new outfits, enough shiny gadgets, or enough hours mindlessly scrolling to make you feel full. You simply cannot satisfy a need with a want.
I'm going to leave you with this final, intimate reflection. If you were to look at your personal stress list right now, the things keeping you up at night, the obligations making your chest tight, how many of those items are actually tied to your core basic needs? And how many are simply wants that, starting today, you could courageously choose to just let go of? Take a deep breath. Settle into that thought. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, my friends. I really hope you step into the rest of your day from a beautiful place of fullness. Keep taking wonderful care of yourselves.